I went on all the company trips. He was at my house for weeks on end. All the things that would be like, how do you have a whole life? I don't understand, but okay.
My guest today, she is a super amazing coach for busy professional women on love and has been featured in publications like Essence, Black Enterprise, and Women's Day magazine. You can catch her on the Coach Cast podcast. Please welcome Dr. Cassandra Henriquez. What made you make the decision to take some of your greatest pain and parlay that into a comeback and a passion?
I had been a coach for many years and always dealing with women. And one of the biggest voids I saw was love. So looking across their businesses, their health, and everything else, love was the thing that was messed up or the area that was lacking or what was going on, so that helped me to hone in, right? And then when I got through my own mess and when I came up and started smelling some roses, I realized that there were so many professional women that were, one, so focused on business, impact, community, their kids, everything else but love, saying, oh yeah, it's going to happen one day, but it's not happening. And 40, 50, 60, my eldest client is 68, knocking on the door, right? And it's not coming. Or I'm just going to pray for my Boaz to come. But they know they don't open the door, not even for the Amazon Prime guy. So who are you meeting, right? Who are you meeting, right? So really, that's how I come into play to support them in this new avenue. Like, hey, you can still be a driven woman and pray, but still you have to do something, hey, in order for love to actually come into your life. Like, come on. Yes, friends that were born millionaires, right? Like they just did one thing, it turned on, they became multimillionaires. But then you have other friends that hired a coach, a professional to help them tweak some things to get to where they wanted to in terms of business. So there's nothing wrong with you for seeking help in this area that is the most important area of your life.
I just love the intention behind it. Because as you said, yes, it is. I mean, it's one of the most important areas because it's the catalyst for so many other things. Just tell us about the Coach Cast experience, because I think that this is so important and how it differs from maybe a therapist.
Okay, so my business coach specifically asked me, what's the best way that you could serve your ideal client? And I really thought about it, and it was to have me always, like, to just never leave. And so I created a community called the Real Love Network, and we support women through self-love, so there's some women out there that haven't been in a relationship ever in a long time and are scared, right? So what's the self-love piece? How are you loving yourself? And then the other lane is attraction. Well, I keep picking the wrong guy. I don't know how to choose him. Is this really the right person? Is it a scammer? Am I being catfished? All the things.
Right.
So the attraction piece, how do you attract the right kind of person to you and choose the right individual for you? And then the third lane is, all right, now that I have this guy, what do I do with him? Right? So the thriving in the right relationship, because I know so many people will teach you how to catch a man, but then what happens then? Okay, I got him.
Right.
So thrive in the relationship. So this is the community where we meet monthly. We talk different topics throughout relationships, and then we have sister circles where we pair you with amazing women from all over the world who are just interested in the same thing, to uplift and to put love as the priority on top where it should be.
I watched your TEDx talk, and you really expanded on this idea of community, and it's something that I thought of very briefly in terms of how important it is to have a community that is going to help your relationship thrive. But when I thought of it, I think I thought more in terms of, well, this family dynamic aspect is going to be very important because that can derail everything very fast. But you're actually talking about who you're surrounding yourself with willfully and socially. So can you get more into that idea?
Yeah, so my TED Talk is all around building a community of love, which is what we're doing in the Real Love Network. And outside of that, when I started dating my husband, I realized that many of our friends were single or divorced. And I started to think, if this is the person that I think that God has for me, and this is going to be my husband, I need to start being intentional about the people we surround ourselves with, right? And I literally sought out couples that celebrated marriage and were intentional and of the same faith and really wanted to uplift marriage. And I can tell you that those marriages, yes, have been tested, but because we built this community of love, that we uplift each other. And it's not a place where it's like, oh girl, you need to leave that man, you know?
Right.
Where we celebrate love, and it's like, okay, somebody messed up. How are we going to support you through this? And what do you want to do? Versus dropping doubt and negativity into their marriage. It's like, well, what is God saying to you? How can we support you in this season, right? We've had individuals lose children. I'm talking about real stuff. And when you decide to do life with couples that celebrate love and life and of the same faith and belief as you, it's something powerful that happens. So our circle has been going strong for almost like a decade now.
Tell us about your conversation cards, because we've had a little conversation about these, and I think this is so great. So tell us more about this.
Okay, so I created something called the Love Deck because one of the biggest questions I would get is coaching as, what do I say on a date? Like, what do I talk about? I don't know. Do I talk about my ex forever? Do I talk about my old marriage? Do I talk about my kids? You know, what do I talk about? So I created the 60 questions you should ask before choosing the one. What I realized, Erica, is that so many times we start dating someone and then we get the chemistry going. Like, ooh, you're so sexy. Ooh, ooh, right? And that's what we're focused on. And then we talk about our favorite Netflix show. And that's it, right? It ends up being very surface. You fall into some type of situationship, and then you're at each other's house all the time. You're eating popcorn. You might be doing a little bit more than eating popcorn, and then that's it, right? Like that's the situation. And then you might fall into a relationship or a thing for 6 months to a year to then say, well, that wasn't it. And then you move on. You say, well, why did I waste all that time with that person? That was whatever. So really being intentional. And since the pandemic, 68% of couples online are intentionally dating, just for small stats out there. So now when you're connecting with folks, it's a fun way to connect and just get some of those true questions answered in a non-judgmental way. You bring it up like, oh, I just got this deck of cards. You want to play? Like, oh, look. And then one side is affirmations for you, and on the other side is questions for the one that you want to find out more about.
I love the Love Deck. Now tell us where we can find the Love Deck and where we can find you and your work.
My website is inspiremany.com. You just click on the store, right? So everything on there, my masterclass with the Love Vision Board, the Love Deck, all the things, right? And I'm Inspire Many on everything. So if anyone's interested in being a part of our community, just send me a message or buying the Love Deck, head over to the store. Yeah.
It's all love. It's all love with Coach Cass. Girlfriend, I appreciate you so much. And for my Comeback community, make sure you head over to my online home, comeback.tv, to hear the full podcast, including this Love Vision Board, because I am telling you, it is the truth. Coach Cass, I thank you so much for spending time with us on Comeback with Erica Cobb.
Thanks for having me, Erica Cobb. You're awesome.
You're awesome, girl.